Oscar De La Hoya absolutely screws Jake Paul badly at the worst possible time. Yeah, just when Jake's biggest fight with Tyson is around the corner, Oscar decides to drop a bombshell. You know how in movies and dramas, influential guys always try to cover up their dirt to keep that squeaky clean image? Well, Jake Paul's no different. He's been throwing money left and right to keep his secrets under wraps, but guess what? The bigger the star, the bigger the mess. And now, Jake's secret laundry is all over the place, and no amount of cash is gonna keep it quiet. Sorry, Jake, but it's way too late for that now. Oscar De La Hoya, a name that's basically a synonym for boxing greatness, just dropped a major bomb on Jake Paul. Now, Oscar's not just any ex-boxer. This guy's a legend in the ring and has turned into a top promoter, backing real talents like Ryan Garcia. His reputation as a mentor for young boxers makes his harsh words for Jake Paul hit even harder. He called Jake a fraud and a parasite, which is pretty much like hitting him with a verbal uppercut. In a public statement that shook the boxing world, Oscar didn't hold back. He accused Jake of turning the sport into a circus with his loud personality and endless publicity stunts. According to Oscar, Jake's all about creating hype rather than showing any real boxing skills. Coming from a guy with a storied career who's all about supporting serious athletes, this is a serious smackdown.
And Jake Paul trying to climb the ladder through Mike Tyson. It's not.
He argues that Jake's matches, usually against opponents who aren't exactly top tier, lack the competitive spirit that boxing is supposed to be about. Oscar's disdain is clear as day as he accuses Jake of disrespecting the sport. Oscar's support for young boxers like Ryan Garcia adds another twist to this saga. Garcia is a rising star who's taking the traditional route, hardcore training, and slowly climbing the ranks. Oscar sees greatness in Garcia, achieved through sheer hard work, which makes his criticism of Jake even sharper. To Oscar, Jake's all about shortcuts and fame, while guys like Garcia are about real dedication to the sport. Jake Paul, though, is a divisive figure. He started as a social media star and somehow carved out a niche in boxing, drawing massive crowds to his fights. Critics say his loudmouth tactics and self-promotion overshadow his actual skills in the ring. Sure, Jake's been training hard and has some wins under his belt, but the quality of his opponents is always a question mark. This gives people like Oscar plenty of reasons to call his achievements hollow.
I think Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, look, it's one of those fights where, again, the world's going to watch. It's going to create new eyeballs for boxing. It's going to create a lot of news all over the world. But I stick to my message, and that is, if Jake Paul wants to take the sport serious, then he should be fighting young guys who are top 15, top 10.
Jake's journey from YouTube star to boxer is anything but normal. His fights rake in huge pay-per-view numbers, proving he's a marketing genius. But for boxing purists like Oscar, popularity doesn't equal respect.
Not heroes and legends like Mike Tyson.
And here we have Jake Paul, a guy who first hit the spotlight through Vine and later YouTube. Respect? Nah, that's not his style. He knows the world loves a big mouth and some spicy drama, and that's exactly how he's built his larger-than-life persona, amassing millions of followers along the way. Jake's boxing debut happened on August 25, 2018, when he fought Deji Olatunji, another YouTuber, in an amateur match. This was part of the undercard for the KSI versus Logan Paul fight, and Jake ended up winning by TKO in the 5th round. This victory lit the fuse for his professional boxing career, which officially kicked off on January 30th, 2020, when he faced YouTuber Ann Gibb in Miami. Jake crushed it, winning by TKO in the 1st round and showing off his aggressive style and knockout power. But here's where it gets messy. Jake's choice of opponents has always been a hot topic. Critics love to point out that he usually fights non-boxers or guys way past their prime, which makes his record look kind of sketchy. For example, on November 28, 2020, he fought former NBA player Nate Robinson. Sure, Nate's an athlete, but he had zero boxing experience. Jake knocked him out cold in the 2nd round, and while the internet went nuts, it didn't do much to silence the haters. Next up, Jake fought Ben Askren on April 17, 2021. Askren's a former MMA fighter, but more of a wrestler than a striker. Jake got another 1st-round TKO, but this just added fuel to the fire, with people saying he's dodging real boxers. Then, on August 29, 2021, Jake faced off against former UFC champ Tyron Woodley. This one went the distance, with Jake winning by split decision. They had a rematch on December 18, 2021, and Jake knocked Woodley out in the 6th round. as Jake kept this trend going with his fight against Mike Perry on July 20th, 2024. Perry, a former UFC fighter who had moved to bare-knuckle boxing, still got taken down by Jake in the 6th round, and once again it ended with a TKO. As Jake's boxing saga continues, one of the most hyped events was supposed to be his fight against Mike Tyson. Announced in late 2023, the idea of Jake facing Tyson, a former heavyweight champ and absolute legend, got everyone buzzing. Tyson, even at 57, is a beast, but health issues have pushed the fight back. Tyson's last exhibition fight against Roy Jones Jr. on November 28, 2020, showed he's not the unstoppable force he once was. The postponement has fans on the edge, waiting to see if this clash of eras will actually go down. If Jake and Tyson do step into the ring, it's anyone's guess what'll happen. If Tyson lands one of his trademark punches, Jake could be in for a reality check. And so, Oscar De La Hoya, the boxing legend himself, just turned the heat up to full blast by accusing Jake Paul of juicing up with performance-enhancing drugs, PEDs. On July 25, 2024, Oscar dropped this bombshell, putting Jake under a microscope and raising serious doubts about his integrity in the ring. Oscar didn't just throw shade, he went full scorched earth in an interview with ESPN. He said, "Jake Paul is a fraud. He's been juicing, and it's time the truth comes out. This sport is about honor and skill, not cheating." Coming from a guy with Oscar's reputation, those words hit like a heavyweight punch. And now everyone's talking and speculating. But here's the kicker. There's not much solid evidence to back up these claims yet. Jake has been firing back, denying everything. He tweeted, "I've never taken steroids or any performance enhancers. I train hard, eat right, and win fair. These accusations are just desperate attempts to tarnish my name." Even with Jake's denials, the controversy is far from over. Oscar's calling for stricter drug testing for Jake's future fights, and some folks are all for it, while others are a bit skeptical. Remember back in 2012 when Lamont Peterson got busted for synthetic testosterone before his rematch with Amir Khan? The fight got canceled, and Peterson's reputation took a nosedive. Or how about heavyweight champ Gerald Miller in 2019? He tested positive for multiple banned substances and got booted from a title fight with Anthony Joshua. These scandals are a stark reminder of how devastating doping accusations can be, setting the stage for the current drama with Jake Paul. The boxing world is buzzing with reactions to Oscar's claims. Eddie Hearn, a big-time promoter, told Sky Sports, "These are serious allegations. If true, they could change everything for Jake. We need transparency and rigorous testing to maintain the sport's integrity." Retired boxer Andre Ward chimed in, saying, "Boxing is about skill and heart, not shortcuts. If Jake's juicing, it's a slap in the face to every fighter who puts in the work." Experts are weighing in too. Dr. Margaret Goodman, president of the Voluntary Anti-Doping Association, VADA, stressed the need for serious testing protocols. "Performance-enhancing drugs are a scourge on the sport. We must ensure fighters are clean through stringent and frequent testing," she told The Ring magazine. Jake's public response to all this has been a mix of defense and defiance. In a video posted on his YouTube channel, Jake told his fans, "These are baseless accusations. I've never used steroids, and I'm willing to undergo any test to prove my innocence. This is just another attempt to bring me down because I'm disrupting the status quo." Jake's firm denial and willingness to undergo testing are crucial in shaping public opinion and keeping his fan base intact. But don't think for a second that Mike Tyson is just going to sit back and let all this drama slide. With his name tied to Jake Paul, Tyson's not about to ignore what's going down. So, he's thrown down the gauntlet with a new rule for their much-hyped fight: random steroid test. From the moment the fight's confirmed until the bell rings, both fighters are in for surprise drug tests. Tyson's not playing around. He wants a fair, clean bout, and this move has serious implications, especially for Paul, who's already under the microscope. Tyson's call for random steroid testing is a direct clap back to Oscar De La Hoya's accusations. At a press conference, Tyson laid it out straight. "The integrity of the sport is paramount. I've been in this game long enough to know the importance of fairness. We're going to have random steroid tests from the moment this fight is confirmed until fight night. No exception." That's Tyson, folks, setting the record straight and making sure everyone knows this fight is legit. Another big example is the 2017 fight between Gennady Golovkin and Canelo Alvarez. Both fighters underwent random testing by the Voluntary Anti-Doping Association, VADA, after Canelo's failed clenbuterol test earlier that year. This strict regime restored confidence in the fight's fairness, ensuring both athletes were on an even playing field. For Jake Paul, this new rule is a game changer. He's already under pressure to prove he's not using PEDs, and now he's got to stay on his toes for random tests. This constant vigilance can be mentally exhausting. adding a whole new challenge to his fight prep. Jake's camp will need to adapt, adjusting training schedules and scrutinizing every dietary supplement to avoid banned substances. His trainers and medical advisors will be busy ensuring compliance with the testing protocols, which could take focus away from other critical preparation aspects. Preparation.